The United States has paid out more than $33 billion to people it harmed from radiation exposures. Congress found that 98% of those people received radiation doses below federal limits. I graduated in 1979 with a degree in nuclear engineering 3 months after the 3 Mile Island accident. I went to work in the nuclear industry for the next 14 to 15 years at operating nuclear power plants, the Hatch plant in Georgia, the Browns Ferry plant in Alabama, and so on. So I had about 14 or 15 years of experience working in the nuclear industry when a colleague and I found a problem at the Susquehanna nuclear plant in Pennsylvania. We raised it to the plant owner's attention. When we got ignored, we went to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission and literally got ignored by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. So when the Union of Concerned Scientists was looking for somebody to be their nuclear safety person and fight nuclear safety battles, it seemed like it was a good fit for what I wanted to do. I'm anti-nuclear disaster and pro-nuclear safety, and not sure why anybody'd be anything else. Since my retirement, I've gone to work as a member of the board of the Generational Radiation Impacts Project in North Carolina, working on the inequity between harm and radiation exposure between men, women, and children. I'm also on the board of advisors for C10, the local group around the Seabrook plant in New Hampshire. And finally, I was appointed to the Decommissioning Oversight Board by the state of New York for the Indian Point nuclear plant outside of New York City. The working title is EO 14300, Ask and Answered. EO is the executive order signed by President Trump in March of 2025, asking the Nuclear Regulatory Commission to relax their radiation protection limits for men, women, and children. The reason I say ask and answered was the NRC received petitions in 2015 seeking the very same thing. And in 2021, the NRC denied that petition in a 54-page response detailing why relaxing the requirements is not good. One of the things I did prior to that was to look at the effects of radiation from atomic bomb testing and development of nuclear weapons. The United States has paid out more than $33 billion to people it harmed from radiation exposures from those facilities and places. The Congress found that 98% of those people received radiation doses below federal limits. That suggests that the federal limits are not sufficient and doesn't provide any evidence that we need to raise them and harm even more people. Well, I think the one thing I'd like more people to know about is a thing called the bathtub curve that plots the chance of failure versus time for people, cars, and nuclear power plants. If you look at the United States fleet of nuclear reactors, they're all in or heading towards the wear-out phase of that curve, where as you get old, you get embrittlement, you get degradation due to aging and so on, and the chance of failure goes up. There's talk about building new reactors, small modular reactors and others, that would be brand new and would be on the other end of the curve, the break-in phase, where material imperfections, the learning curve, people don't understand how this works exactly, causes the risk to also be high. We can't have any reactors in the middle where the risk is, it's not zero, but that's where it's the lowest risk. So we're talking about plants that are approaching 60 years old since they were built, or talking about brand new reactors. And because the risk is high on both of those places, we can't back off on nuclear regulation, the oversight. But the administration wants to speed up licensing. They want to cut back on inspection hours. Drive-by regulation is not really a safe way to do things.